The clinking of glasses, the hum of conversations, and the occasional crash of plates filled the air of the bustling diner. For Sarah, a waitress juggling her dreams and responsibilities, it was just another ordinary shift. She was accustomed to the relentless pace, the hurried footsteps across the checkered floor, and the unending chorus of orders barked from the kitchen. Each day felt like a blur of faces and demands, but she soldiered on, her heart weighted with personal struggles she couldn't let anyone see. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Sarah had always dreamed of being an artist. From the time she was old enough to hold a pencil, she had sketched scenes of her small town, filling pages with life and color. But life had other plans. After her mother fell ill and medical bills began to pile up, Sarah traded in her dreams of art school for an apron and a tray. Every dollar she earned went towards supporting her family, leaving little for herself. Yet she clung to her dream, finding solace in the few quiet moments she could steal with her sketchbook during breaks. The diner wasn't glamorous, but it had its charm. Nestled on the edge of a busy city street, it was a magnet for all kinds of patrons. Regulars who knew the menu by heart, travelers passing through, and the occasional odd celebrity whose visit set tongues wagging for weeks. Sarah rarely paid much attention to the faces beyond their orders and their tips, focusing instead on doing her job with precision and a polite smile. On this particular evening, however, something felt different. The diner was unusually packed, and a palpable buzz of excitement rippled through the air. Sarah had barely noticed when a sleek black car pulled up outside, its tinted windows gleaming under the streetlights. She was too busy clearing a table when the figure stepped inside. The man was instantly recognizable. Elon Musk. The diner fell into a hushed murmur as heads turned and smartphones discreetly emerged from pockets. Elon Musk was a household name, the kind of person whose presence turned an ordinary evening into an unforgettable moment. Sarah, however, didn't allow herself to dwell on it. To her, he was just another customer, another order to take, another table to serve. She approached with her usual grace, clipboard in hand, and a warm, practiced smile. "Good evening, sir. Welcome. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Elon looked up from the menu, his expression thoughtful. "Just water, please," he said simply, his tone as casual as if he were any other patron. Sarah nodded and moved efficiently, bringing the water and taking his order. A burger, fries, and a slice of apple pie. It was a humble meal for a man of his stature, but she thought nothing of it. For the next hour, Elon sat quietly, enjoying his food. Sarah checked on him periodically, ensuring his glass stayed full and his meal was to his liking. As the evening wound down and patrons began to filter out, Sarah noticed Elon signal for the check. She approached with her customary politeness, handing him the bill. He took it with a smile, scribbled something on it, and slid it back across the table before rising to leave. "Thank you," he said, his voice genuine. "You've been wonderful." Sarah watched as he walked out the door, the black car whisking him away moments later. It wasn't until she returned to the table to clear it that she noticed what he had left behind. At first glance, it appeared to be an ordinary note on the receipt, but as she picked it up, her breath caught in her throat. Scrawled in bold handwriting were the words, "Keep chasing your dreams. They matter, and here's a little help to get you started." Beneath the note was a sum that seemed almost unreal, a tip amounting to $20,000. Sarah's knees buckled and she sank into the booth, tears streaming down her face. The enormity of the gesture overwhelmed her. For a moment, the world around her disappeared. The clatter of the diner, the curious stares of her co-workers, even the ache in her feet from the long shift. All she could see was the slip of paper in her trembling hands. The tears weren't just from the sheer generosity of the tip. They came from a place deep inside her, a place where her dreams had long been buried under the weight of responsibility. Elon Musk's words weren't just encouragement, they were validation. For years, she had questioned whether her art, her passion, had any worth. And here was one of the most influential men in the world, telling her that it did. Her co-workers gathered around, their voices a mix of astonishment and joy. "Sarah, this is incredible!" one of them exclaimed, peering over her shoulder at the note. "What are you going to do with it?" She wiped her tears and smiled through the emotion threatening to choke her. I think I'm going to start by buying some new art supplies," she said, her voice quivering with newfound determination. Word of the extraordinary encounter spread quickly. Within days, Sarah found herself herself the subject of local news stories. Her humble act of serving one of the world's wealthiest men transformed into a tale of hope and inspiration. The diner became a hotspot, its tables filled with curious patrons eager to sit in the same booth where the now famous moment had occurred. But for Sarah, the real impact wasn't in the attention or the sudden spike in tips from generous customers. It was in the way that note reignited a spark within her. She began to draw again, spending her nights sketching and painting after long shifts at the diner. The walls of her tiny apartment, once barren, soon became a gallery of her work, a testament to her talent and resilience. She used part of Elon's generous tip to enroll in an online art course, honing her skills and building a portfolio. The rest she carefully saved, determined to make every dollar count toward her dream of becoming a full-time artist. Each day, she carried the note in her pocket, a tangible reminder of the moment that changed everything. Months turned into a year, and Sarah's life began to transform. Her art caught the attention of a local gallery owner who offered to display her pieces. The exhibit was a modest success, but it was enough to give her confidence to pursue her passion further. She started an online shop, selling prints of her work, and soon her talent attracted a growing following. Through it all, Sarah remained grounded, never forgetting the night that had set her on this path. She returned to the diner now and then, not as a waitress but as a customer, sitting in the booth where it all began. It became a ritual, a way to honor the journey and the man whose simple act of kindness had given her the courage to dream again. Elon Musk likely never knew the full extent of the impact he had on Sarah's life. For him, it might have been just another gesture, a fleeting moment in the whirlwind of his extraordinary life. But for Sarah, it was everything. It was proof that even in the most unlikely places, even in the midst of struggle, dreams could find their way to the surface. The days following the remarkable encounter with Elon Musk were a whirlwind for Sarah. The story of the waitress who received an extraordinary tip and a handwritten note from the billionaire entrepreneur spread far and wide, capturing the hearts of people across the world. News outlets called the diner relentlessly. Reporters came in hoping for interviews, and curious customers flooded the establishment, eager to meet Sarah, or at least sit in the booth where Musk had dined. The small-town diner was suddenly thrust into the spotlight, and Sarah found herself at the center of it all. For Sarah, it was surreal. Overnight, her life had become a topic of public fascination. She was humbled by the attention, but wary of being seen as nothing more than a heartwarming anecdote. Beneath the excitement of her newfound recognition lay the quiet resolve to honor the opportunity she had been given. She wanted to ensure that Musk's gesture wasn't just a momentary spark, but the catalyst for real, lasting change in her life. One of the most profound shifts came from the community around her. People she had known for years began to see her in a new light, not just as the hard-working waitress who always had a kind smile, but as someone with dreams, talent, and potential. The local art store, where she had once hesitated to spend even a few dollars on supplies, offered her a discount on anything she needed. Several patrons who were regulars at the diner gifted her sketchbooks, paints, and brushes, encouraging her to create without restraint. With every act of kindness, Sarah felt her confidence grow. She began to view her art not as a hobby tucked away in the corners of her life, but as a vital part of who she was. The note Musk left her, now carefully framed and hung in her modest apartment, became a daily reminder of the responsibility she felt, not just to herself, but to everyone who believed in her. She didn't want to waste the chance she'd been given. The first major decision she made was to take a leap she'd long dreamed of, hosting an art exhibit. While the idea thrilled her, it also terrified her. Would people come? Would her work resonate with them? Would anyone see the beauty she tried to capture in her sketches and paintings? These doubts gnawed at her. But every time she considered giving up, she remembered the words scrawled on that receipt. Keep chasing your dreams. They matter. Sarah spent weeks preparing for the exhibit. Her tiny apartment transformed into a studio, with canvases leaning against every available surface and sketches taped to the walls. She experimented with new techniques, drawing inspiration from the world around her. The bustling diner, the quiet streets of her town, and the faces of the people who filled her life. Each piece was deeply personal, a reflection of her journey and the emotions she had carried for so long. When the day of the exhibit finally arrived, Sarah's nerves were frayed. The event was being held at a local community center, which had offered her the space at a discounted rate after hearing her story. She had worked tirelessly to set up the displays, arranging her pieces in a way that told a story of hope, struggle, and resilience. As she stood in the center of the room, surrounded by her work, she wondered if anyone would show up. To her astonishment, the room began to fill almost immediately. Friends, family, and co-workers came to support her, as did countless strangers who had heard her story and wanted to be part of her journey. The mayor of the town stopped by, offering words of encouragement, and a local journalist took photos, promising to write a feature about the event. By the end of the evening, Sarah had sold several pieces, each one accompanied by heartfelt conversations with the buyers about what her art meant to them. That night, as Sarah packed up the remaining canvases and counted the earnings from the sales, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not just for the financial support, though that was certainly a relief, but for the validation that her art had a place in the world. It was the first time she truly believed that her dreams were not only possible but worth pursuing with everything she had. The momentum didn't stop there. The success of the exhibit led to more opportunities. A local gallery owner, impressed by her talent and the emotional depth of her work, offered her a spot in an upcoming group show. Invitations to participate in art fairs and workshops followed. Sarah's days became a balancing act between shifts at the diner and her blossoming art career, but she didn't mind. Each moment spent painting felt like a step closer to the life she had always envisioned. Amid her growing success, Sarah remained deeply connected to her roots. She continued to work at the diner not out of necessity but because it grounded her. The diner had been a constant in her life through its most turbulent chapters, and she cherished the camaraderie of her co-workers and the familiar rhythm of the job. Customers often asked about her art, and she delighted in sharing updates about her progress. One evening, as she was clearing a table, a young girl approached her hesitantly, clutching a small sketch pad. "Are you the artist?" the girl asked, her wide eyes filled with awe. Sarah smiled, crouching down to meet the girl's gaze. "I suppose I am," she said warmly. The girl shyly showed Sarah her drawings, crayon depictions of animals and fantastical landscapes, and Sarah felt a pang of recognition. She saw herself in that girl, brimming with creativity and hope, yet uncertain of her place in the world. "You're very talented," Sarah told her. "Promise me you'll keep drawing no matter what." The encounter stayed with Sarah long after the girl left. It reminded her that her journey wasn't just about achieving her own dream. It was about inspiring others to believe in theirs. She began volunteering at a local community center, teaching art classes for children and teenagers. The classes became a highlight of her week, a chance to nurture the creativity of others and give back to the community that had supported her so wholeheartedly. As Sarah's art career flourished, she began to attract attention beyond her small town. An art collector from the city purchased one of her pieces at a gallery show, praising its raw emotion and unique perspective. That sale led to an invitation to participate in a prestigious art competition, where her work was displayed alongside that of seasoned professionals. Though she didn't win, the experience was transformative, exposing her to new ideas and connections that would shape her future. Years passed, and Sarah's life looked nothing like it had on the night Elon Musk walked into the diner. She had transitioned to being a full-time artist. Her work featured in galleries and private collections across the country. Her style evolved, blending the influences of her humble beginnings with the techniques she had learned through formal training and collaboration with other artists. She traveled to cities she had only dreamed of, soaking in the vibrant art scenes and drawing inspiration from every corner of the world. Despite her success, Sarah remained humble and deeply grateful for the journey that had brought her here. She often reflected on the pivotal moment when a simple note on a check changed everything. It wasn't just the money, though, that had been a significant boost. It was the message behind it. Elon Musk's words had given her permission to believe in herself, to take risks, and to embrace the uncertainty of chasing a dream. One day, as Sarah was preparing for a solo exhibition in a renowned gallery, she received an unexpected email. The subject line read, "From a fellow dreamer." Her heart skipped a beat as she opened it. The email was from Elon Musk himself. In the message, Musk explained that he had heard about her success and wanted to congratulate her. He admitted that he hadn't expected his gesture that night to have such a profound impact, but was thrilled to see how far she had come. He invited her to visit one of his company's headquarters, offering a behind-the-scenes look at the innovations he was working on. Sarah accepted the invitation, eager to express her gratitude in person. When she arrived at the sprawling campus, she was struck by the energy of the place, the same kind of creative energy she felt when she picked up a paintbrush. Meeting Musk again, she found him to be as unassuming as he had been that night at the diner. They talked about art, innovation, and the importance of following one's passions. Musk even purchased one of her paintings, a piece she had created in the early days of her journey. As she left the headquarters, Sarah felt a sense of closure and renewal. Her path had been unconventional, marked by struggles and unexpected turns, but it had led her to a place of fulfillment and purpose. She knew that her story was far from over, that there were still countless canvases to fill and dreams to pursue, and she was ready for all of it. In the years that followed her second encounter with Elon Musk, Sarah's journey continued to unfold in ways she never could have predicted. While she had achieved recognition as an artist and established a steady career, she found that her purpose extended far beyond her personal success. Her story resonated with people around the globe, and it became a source of inspiration for individuals navigating their own dreams and struggles. One of the most significant developments came when Sarah decided to write a memoir. Encouraged by friends, family, and even strangers who had followed her journey, she took the leap and began documenting her life story. The process was both cathartic and challenging as she revisited the hardships of her past and reflected on the moments that had shaped her path. She poured her heart into the project, determined to create something that would offer hope to others facing similar obstacles. The memoir, titled Chasing Dreams: From Diner to Canvas, was published to widespread acclaim. It wasn't just a recounting of her extraordinary encounter with Elon Musk. It was a deeply personal narrative about perseverance, resilience, and the transformative power of kindness. Readers connected with Sarah's vulnerability and authenticity, and the book quickly became a bestseller. It was translated into multiple languages, reaching audiences far beyond her small town. The success of the memoir opened new doors for Sarah. She was invited to speak at conferences, schools, and events, where she shared her journey and encouraged others to pursue their passions. Public speaking was a new challenge for her, and she initially felt out of her depth. Standing before large audiences, her voice would tremble as she recounted her story, but she quickly realized the impact her words had on people. She began to embrace the opportunity, using her platform to advocate for the importance of arts education and to promote creativity as a vital part of human expression. As her influence grew, Sarah became increasingly involved in philanthropic efforts. She founded the Dreamers Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting young artists from underprivileged backgrounds. The foundation provided grants, scholarships, and mentorship programs, ensuring that financial barriers wouldn't prevent talented individuals from pursuing their artistic aspirations. Sarah's own experiences fueled her passion for the cause, and she poured her energy into creating opportunities for others. The foundation's impact was profound. Over the years, it supported hundreds of aspiring artists, many of whom went on to achieve remarkable success. Sarah made a point of staying personally involved, attending exhibitions, mentoring students, and celebrating their achievements. Each success story reminded her of the night that had changed her life and reinforced her commitment to paying it forward. One of the most memorable moments in Sarah's philanthropic journey occurred when the foundation organized a nationwide competition for young artists. The winner would receive a full scholarship to a prestigious art school, along with a solo exhibition at a major gallery. The competition drew submissions from across the country, showcasing an incredible diversity of talent and creativity. As Sarah reviewed the entries, she was struck by the depth and originality of the work. She saw reflections of her own struggles and dreams in many of the pieces, and choosing a winner proved to be an emotional and difficult task. When the finalists were announced, she personally reached out to each one, offering words of encouragement and advice. The winner, a 17-year-old girl named Maria, reminded Sarah of herself at that age. Full of potential, but unsure of how to navigate the challenges ahead. Maria's winning piece, a hauntingly beautiful painting that depicted her family's journey as immigrants, left a lasting impression on Sarah. She made it a point to mentor Maria personally, guiding her through the process of preparing for her solo exhibition and helping her build the confidence to share her story with the world. Maria's exhibition was a resounding success, drawing praise from critics and audiences alike. Watching Maria stand proudly beside her work, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of pride and fulfillment. She knew that moments like these were the true measure of her success, not the accolades or financial rewards, but the ability to uplift and empower others. As Sarah's work with the foundation expanded, she also continued to push the boundaries of her own artistic expression. She began exploring new mediums and techniques, collaborating with other artists, and drawing inspiration from the diverse experiences she encountered through her travels and philanthropic work. Her art became increasingly abstract and experimental, reflecting her evolution as both an artist and a person. One of her most ambitious projects was a large-scale public art installation titled Threads of Kindness. The installation featured a series of interconnected sculptures, each one representing a different act of kindness that had a ripple effect on the world. Visitors were invited to contribute their own stories of kindness, which were displayed alongside the sculptures, creating a dynamic and ever-evolving narrative. The project garnered significant attention and was displayed in several major cities, drawing thousands of visitors. It sparked conversations about the importance of compassion and inspired countless acts of generosity. For Sarah, it was a deeply meaningful way to honor the gesture that had set her on this path, while highlighting the collective power of humanity to create positive change. Amid her busy schedule, Sarah found time to return to the diner that had played such a pivotal role in her life. She often visited unannounced, sitting quietly in the booth where it all began and sketching scenes from the bustling restaurant. The staff welcomed her warmly, and she cherished the moments of connection with the place that had once been her second home. During one of these visits, she had an unexpected encounter with a man who introduced himself as a writer for a major publication. He had been following her journey and wanted to collaborate on a feature story about the lasting impact of acts of kindness. The idea resonated with Sarah, and together they worked on a piece that explored not only her story, but also the stories of others who had experienced similar transformative moments. The article, titled "The Ripple Effect," became a viral sensation. It highlighted the interconnectedness of human experiences and the profound ways in which small gestures could shape lives. Sarah's story was framed as a testament to the enduring power of kindness, and it inspired readers to reflect on their own actions and the potential they held to make a difference. Through all the recognition and success, Sarah remained grounded and true to herself. She often spoke about the importance of humility and gratitude, reminding people that her journey was made possible not only by Elon Musk's generosity, but also by the countless individuals who had supported her along the way. Her relationships with her family and friends remained a source of strength, and she made a point of staying connected to her community. As she looked to the future, Sarah continued to dream big. She envisioned expanding the Dreamers Foundation to a global scale, creating art programs in underserved communities around the world. She also began exploring the idea of creating a documentary that would capture the stories of artists who had been supported by the foundation, showcasing their journeys and the transformative power of creativity. One of her most ambitious goals was to establish an international art retreat, a place where artists from diverse backgrounds could come together to collaborate, learn, and find inspiration. She imagined a vibrant, inclusive space where creativity thrived and barriers were broken down. The retreat, she hoped, would be a legacy that continued to uplift and empower artists long after she was gone. As Sarah's life story unfolded, she came to understand that the journey was not just about her, it was about the interconnected web of humanity that had supported, inspired, and elevated her along the way. Each step forward revealed new layers of purpose and meaning, and she grew more committed to using her platform to uplift others. One day, while organizing a workshop for young artists in a remote village, Sarah met a boy named Arjun. He was quiet, reserved, and hesitant to participate. But when he finally picked up a paintbrush, his work left Sarah stunned. His strokes carried a raw emotional depth that belied his young age. Arjun confided that he had never shown his art to anyone, fearing it wasn't good enough. Sarah's heart ached as she saw in him the same insecurities she had once wrestled with. Determined to nurture his talent, Sarah personally mentored Arjun. She provided him with supplies and encouraged him to submit his work to art contests. Over time, his confidence blossomed and his art gained recognition. Years later, Arjun became one of the most celebrated artists in his country, always crediting Sarah as the person who helped him find his voice. The bond they shared became one of the most rewarding chapters of Sarah's life, a testament to the ripple effects of compassion and belief. Parallel to her mentoring, Sarah deepened her exploration of art as a medium for storytelling. She launched a project called Faces of Dreams, a traveling exhibit that featured portraits of individuals who had overcome immense challenges to achieve their aspirations. Each portrait was accompanied by a narrative, weaving together the subject's struggles and triumphs. The exhibit became a global sensation, traveling to major cities and even being displayed at the United Nations as part of a campaign to promote education and opportunity. The success of Faces of Dreams brought new opportunities to Sarah. She was approached by film producers who wanted to turn her life story into a feature film. Initially hesitant, Sarah agreed on the condition that the film would highlight not just her journey, but also the countless others whose lives were changed through acts of kindness and creativity. The film, titled Chasing the Canvas, became a critical and commercial success, winning awards and inspiring audiences worldwide. Sarah attended the premiere with her family, their pride shining brighter than the red carpet. Beyond the artistic and philanthropic milestones, Sarah found joy in the simple moments of her life. She cherished quiet evenings in her studio, the rhythmic hum of the brush against canvas grounding her in the present. She delighted in letters from strangers, many of whom shared how her story had given them hope during their darkest times. Sarah always made time to respond, knowing that her words might be the encouragement someone needed to take their next step. Amid her busy schedule, Sarah also began to focus on environmental sustainability in her art. She collaborated with environmentalists to create installations that addressed climate change, using reclaimed and natural materials to craft visually arresting pieces that sparked dialogue about humanity's relationship with the planet. One of her most famous works from this period was Whispers of the Earth, an immersive sculpture that depicted the fragility and resilience of ecosystems. The piece became a symbol of the urgent need for collective action. As she approached her later years, Sarah's thoughts turned to legacy. She established an endowment fund to ensure the Dreamers Foundation would continue its mission long after she was gone. She also created a scholarship in her mother's name, honoring the woman who had taught her resilience and the importance of selflessness. Sarah's final major project was a book of illustrated letters titled To Those Who Dream. Each letter was addressed to someone at a crossroads in their life, an artist unsure of their worth, a child afraid to hope, or an adult hesitant to start anew. The letters were paired with her artwork, creating a tapestry of encouragement and beauty. The book became a cherished gift for graduations, birthdays, and moments of reflection, cementing Sarah's voice as one of wisdom and kindness. As Sarah looked back on her life, she marveled at how far she had come from the humble diner where her journey began. What started as a simple gesture from a stranger had blossomed into a life filled with meaning, creativity, and connection. She realized that while dreams often feel like fragile, distant stars, they are closer than they seem, just waiting for someone to reach out and ignite them. With that understanding, Sarah knew she had lived not just her dream, but a life that helped others believe in theirs. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on the waitress's reaction to Elon Musk's note? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.